What's up guys, Brad here from Piney Grove, and today we're going to be putting in a frost-free hydrant in our barn or outside of our barn. And if you don't know what they are, we bought this from Lowe's. I think it was around $60 or so. And the way it works is it doesn't keep any water in the pipe above ground. So this can be sunk all the way up to here, or you can leave it above ground. It doesn't matter. Well, I guess it does matter. It matters on your frost line. But you want this weep hole right here, you want below your frost line. So you can see that I'm wearing a t-shirt in the wintertime here in Florida, but it does get cold enough sometimes that we have to protect our pipes. So for us, as long as we get this drainage hole below about a foot or so, we can have that much pipe standing above ground. If your frost line is lower, then you'd want your dirt, more up here and get down 1 or 2 feet. Whatever your region declares as your frost line. But the way this works is it's got a plunger. So this handle operates a plunger, but the valve is down at the bottom. So once you're done using water with the valve up like that, or the plunger up like that, when you shut it off, you're not shutting it off up here. You're shutting it off down here where that valve is attached to that plunger, and then all the water that's sitting in this pipe drains out that little hole right there. Now, in order to install it, you got to know what type of pipe you've got that's delivering your water. So everything we pipe underground out here is 1-inch PVC. So we've always got to adapt these to a 1-inch PVC. If you have PEX or something like that, or 3/4 PVC, your sizes will be different, but the general connection will be the same. The way we connect ours out here is we get a 3/4 threaded on one side of the PVC, because this is 3/4 pipe thread inside of the hydrant, and then we use a 1-inch slip fitting. So we'll put this inside of here, and we got tape. We'll do that in a minute. We'll put tape around the thread so it seals the threads to the brass fitting right here. And then we'll get a short piece of PVC. So you'll need 1 inch for this side and 1 inch for this side. We'll put it in here and glue it, and then we can connect. This is slip fitting to slip fitting. We can connect directly with glue to our 1-inch feed or a 1-inch supply line. And that's it. The rest of it is just how tight do you get this, and where do you ultimately want this to end up so that you can get your handle configuration right. So this is the hydrant that we put in the new house, and like we talked about, underground is the weep hole. We put gravel and stuff around that, and we'll show you how to do that. But we wanted this facing this way because we're going to attach the hose here and use the hose that way. And you could turn it and face the camera, you could turn it and face that way. And that's why the attachment at the bottom is important. In this particular one, the feed line is coming from back there. So this one has an elbow pointing opposite of where the outlet is. So those are just pointers, things I've learned over the years because I've put in a lot of these. Another unique thing about these is you don't have to dig them up to change the valve at the bottom. It's a ball type of valve, and you can do everything topside so that once you buried it, you never have to dig it up again. If you're anything like me, you don't throw anything away. So I got this 2.5-inch piece of PVC. I'm going to cut about 1/4 off of it, so I'll have 1 inch to go into each end of the fittings. Normally I'd use a chop saw to cut this, but the table saw's out, so I'm just going to go ahead and use that. One thing I like about a table saw and a chop saw is it gives you a fairly square cut and a very clean cut, so you don't have to worry that you might have cracked the PVC during the cut. First thing we'll do is put some Teflon tape on these threads, and the tape can go on in either direction. But what you want to do is when you're turning this way, you're pulling against the tape so you don't bunch it up. So if you put the tape on this way, it's actually going to unravel the tape. So you want to put the tape on against the grain of the threads. So that way when you're turning to the right, it's just going to pull the tape in and not push it and bunch it up. But when it's straight in, it really doesn't matter how you tape it up. But if that had an elbow on it and you wanted that elbow to go, let's say this way, the more tape you put on it, the more it'll seal on those threads. And that way you don't have to bottom it out in order for it to be tight. But this will seal it up good. It probably would seal without tape, but we'll go ahead and tape it and put it on tight. And as far as tightening it, I just tighten it until it feels right. I've never had one leak. If you bottom it out, then with all the threads up in the brass, then you probably didn't put enough tape on it. But as far as how tight should you get it, I just don't know. I don't know how you could check the torque on it. I just turn it until it feels like if I turned it much more, that it might crack. Now we got the short piece of PVC. I cut it to 2 1/4 inches, so I got 1 inch to go in the slip fitting and then 1 inch to go on the elbow. I'm only gonna do one end here because I'm not sure which way I want this elbow to face like we talked about earlier, so I can glue that up last minute. But I'll go ahead and glue the straight fitting in here. So if your glue cans are ever stuck, these water pump pliers are a good way to open them. I'm just gonna prime one end of it since the other end will get primed later and glued later. And if you're not aware, this is not just a gluing process, it's a welding process. So what the primer does is it kind of breaks down the properties of the PVC, and then when you put the glue on it, and then turn it 1/4 of a turn to make sure you've got glue all the way around the joint, and then hold it just for a few seconds. And now you've basically welded this short piece to this fitting. It's not just glued together. It's all prepped, now let's go install it. I need to cut that pipe down at the bottom to get it to drain before I start gluing things up, but I want to measure first. So if the hydrant goes right there and gets an elbow, and I want this hydrant to be above this post, I either have to cut this post down or dig it down or get a shorter post. I got a bunch of these are old dock cutoffs. I think the easiest thing to do is go get a shorter post. Just this little post is heavy. I've built a couple docks in my time, and I can't believe I used to stand up posts like that in the water that were 15 foot tall. The best post is the one closest to the camera, but I don't want to restack all this, so I think I got a good one right here. Good enough, I guess I should say. Look at that. That's like a Pez machine. We'll take that one then. Now I'm starting to wonder if this one isn't too short. We're gonna take another one that's a little longer, just in case. Just getting started is the hard part. All right, let's try the longer one. Put this in the hole. So if we come off there like that, that's almost perfect, just like that. The best tool for this would be a cordless skill saw, but I don't have mine with me today. So I'm gonna use a scroll saw. Sawzall would work too. Hacksaw would work too, but I don't want to work that hard. That'll flush out the pipe. I flushed it out when I installed it, but that'll flush it out even more. Might have to dig a little hole for the water to go somewhere. That pipe goes under the concrete in Deb's animal barn here. So if that ever breaks, we'll have to abandon this and run some PEX outside of the barn, I guess. But I've never had a problem with PVC breaking in my whole life. I live in a house that's 30 years old, and the PVC has never been a problem in the slab. I get a lot of comments about don't use PVC, but I love it. So I want this to be perpendicular to the barn like that, because the hose is going to stretch that way towards the concrete. So with it laying flat like this, I'd want the elbow to be straight up. Got the hydrant laying pretty flat here, so I know I want this to be straight up and down. And if it's off just a little bit, it won't matter. We'll try our best. Looks like the center of that will line up right there with that little purple mark. We're highly accurate here at Piney Grove. Very precise. I don't like to prime beforehand. I don't know if it makes a difference. I think it's supposed to stay wet, but I'm not sure if it has to stay wet for that welding effect. If you know, put it in a comment. Help somebody else out. You help me out too. I'll read it. We're a how we do channel, not a how to do channel. And most of our projects go pretty well, but it doesn't make us really experts at anything. I think we can glue it down in the bottom of the trench now. And this will become very clear what this does. I'll give you a little hint. It has something to do with that weep hole we talked about. Put this in here straight up and down, we'll have it. Prime that in real good. So the critical part here is, while the glue is still wet, getting this perfectly straight up and down. Push it in, we're gonna turn it a little bit, pull that out, and we're gonna make sure we're straight. I think we're straight. You gotta hold it for just a little bit. I think 30 seconds is what they recommend you hold pressure on it. All right, so what we got here is we got a piece of sewage pipe, and we're going to hold that up right there so that it's over top of the weep hole, just so it can hold some rock. So we'll do that, and then we'll take this piece of plastic and we'll put it over top of that and then fill that in with dirt, and that way dirt won't go down in the rock and that thing can continue to weep water and not freeze. And you don't have to put a post on these. Once you get them in the ground and tighten up that dirt around them, they'll stand up fine on their own. But I like a post, one for looks, and two, it's a lot easier to, when you're mowing, to miss seeing this pipe than it is to miss seeing this pipe attached to this post. Yeah, and I'll clamp that right to that post. For now, I'll just brace it with a shovel. I'm gonna plumb it up and get it attached to the post with a couple clamps, and that'll hold it in place. And I like to use these PVC clamps. They make galvanized metal ones, but they rust over time. And we'll put rust streaks down your faucet here. And the plastic ones will actually rot in the sun after a while, but you can replace them. They just, until they actually break from getting brittle, they look good. All right, from your view, is it plumb? Because it's dead on plumb, according to the level. So the most important thing about keeping this frost free is allowing that weep hole down there to leak that water out when you're done with the standpipe. And so everyone knows to put gravel around it, but what happens with gravel is dirt will work its way in between all that gravel. So I'll put rock down low, and I use round river rock because it's very porous and allows a lot of water flow. If you use angular gravel, it'll tend to fill all those voids with dirt. I probably should have put a little dirt around the bottom there, but I think I have enough river rock to fill this in. Just got to create a barrier there on the bottom. And once you get that done, you can just go ahead and fill the whole thing up with rocks. I think I got it full. If you pay attention to nothing else in this video, pay attention to this. So I got a 4-inch sewer pipe around the standpipe right there, the actual faucet, and I filled all this in with round river rock. And now this plastic goes over top of that, and this all will get covered with dirt. And now there's very little ways for dirt to get in and fill in the cavities of this river rock. So there should always be a water path out the bottom here so this can drain. And there's probably a million ways you can do it, but this is the way I do it. And I think this is a really good and cheap solution for keeping this thing frost-free forever. I have one installed at our other house that was installed 24 years ago, and it's still working and draining just fine. I'm gonna put a little bit of dirt around here just to keep this standing up straight and firm, but I'm gonna leave all of the water connections open so I can see them. Then I'm gonna pressurize it. Hopefully we see no leaks down at the bottom, and our hydrant works like it's supposed to. That'll hold for now. Let me go get a hose and pressurize this. All right, we got about 60 PSI of pressure. I don't see anything gurgling down there. Let's release the hounds. All right, get all that air out of the line. Any PVC glue pieces or anything, let that flush out. All right, we got good pressure. I don't see any leaks. And now when we shut that off, it'll get wet down there when it drains. And I'm gonna shut it off right now. All right, see the water down there? Perfect. Right at the bottom of the rocks, where it's draining that standpipe. Perfect. Now all that's left is to backfill that dirt, pack it all in, and now we have water at the end of our barn that we don't have to worry about freezing. But that's going to wrap up today's video, folks. We sure appreciate you watching. We appreciate your support week after week. If you haven't subscribed already, what are you waiting for? It's time to commit. Until next time, y'all take care out there and check out these 2 videos. They're totally awesome.